I can't believe it, guys. We're at the final movie I'm seeing in all of 2018. My goal is to see 88 movies this year. This is number 88 right now. I'm hyped that I was able to make that goal because there have been a few years where I've been close and haven't exactly made it, or made it like just under the cuff and everything. But like, I think this was a good one to end off on. Maybe not a great movie, but a good one to end off on. I'm John Hayeck, and welcome to my movie thoughts. Aquaman. So this movie is the sixth movie in the DC Extended Universe. It's coming not almost a year after Justice League. More than a full year after Justice League came out. And Justice League, I liked Justice League. I haven't seen it since it came out. I'm sure if I saw it now, some parts of it wouldn't hold up, some parts of it would get better. But ultimately, speaking to the general facts here, I liked Justice League. I thought that Aquaman in Justice League was a little bit of a weak link. Like, he was fine and everything, but I was just like, I don't know what they're trying to do with this character. Like, I don't know if he could carry his own movie and everything. And watching Aquaman, some of those fears kind of came to fruition even more so. The critical reaction to this thing has been kind of across the board. Some people really loved it. Some people haven't liked it all that much. Some people have said it's fine. Some people have said it's fun and everything. I'm more towards the negative side on this one. I think it's a fun movie that you can enjoy. But overall, I think this thing is just completely, unrealistic is an unfair word because it's a movie about a man who's from Atlantis, or who's half Atlantean. Okay, premise of this movie, here we go. Jason Momoa plays Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman. He is half human, half Atlantean. His mother's played by Nicole Kidman. His father's played by Tamara Morissette from the prequels fame of Star Wars. And the two of them have this forbidden relationship and spawn Arthur Curry from that. He then has a rightful claim to the throne of Atlantis, but the thing is, his brother Orm, who's Nicole Kidman's other son and a full Atlantean, is already king, so Arthur Curry's trying to challenge him for the throne. Meanwhile, he's trying to take down some bad guys along the way. Meanwhile, he's trying to just discover who he is and everything. He has a romance with Amber Heard's character and stuff. He's trying to maintain his relationship with his dad. And the movie has a lot of subplots going on. There's the romance between Arthur Curry and Amber Heard's character. There's the search for Trident that will like help Arthur Curry kind of manifest his powers in a more succinct way. There's the challenging Orm for the throne. There's this guy named Black Manta who's like the villain of the movie. That's not his real name, of course, but that's like his supervillain name. He's a human that is trying to pose a threat to Arthur Curry for a tragedy that happened in the past. Again, there's the relationship with the mother, there's the relationship with the father. There's a lot going on in this movie, and I feel like director James Wan balances all of them pretty well, which is great. Because there's like political intrigue, and there's family intrigue, and there's romantic intrigue, and then there's kind of a side villain and everything. But it all comes together in a pretty interesting, coalescing way. So I gotta give Wan credit for making that happen. The movie's about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think you could have cut about 10 minutes off the end. I think the climax of it does drag on a little bit long. But my main problem with this movie isn't the pacing or the storylines or anything, because those all went completely fine. And I actually thought that Willem Dafoe was great in the movie. I thought that Patrick Wilson as Orm was great in the movie. But my main issue with it is a lot of the acting and the dialogues. It was pretty weak. The first scene in the movie is basically Nicole Kidman and Tamara Morissette's character like meeting each other, and it's shot like a Hallmark movie. It feels like when the two of them come together, it just feels like it's this cheesy, like, kind of like B-romance of them chatting and them kind of like realizing, oh, like, I have a thing for you, and then I'm like, is this how this entire thing's gonna be? And luckily, the production quality feels like it ramps up after that, but it just wasn't shot in a way that made me feel like it was a down-to-earth relationship, or it was something that was meant to be. It just felt like it was kind of like shoehorned in, and I was like, I don't know if I totally dig that. But luckily, I thought the relationship between Arthur Curry and his dad was really good, and since it's set up for the movie, I was like, alright, I can like kind of forgive that, because it was just kind of a throwaway thing. But then when Arthur Curry, Aquaman himself, comes on the scene, I was lost. I didn't buy Jason Momoa in the role whatsoever, because here's the thing. Aquaman, they make him out to be this like kind of like surfer dude who's kind of like a little bit over the top, and just like cartoony lines and stuff like that. But throughout this entire movie, I was like, why am I rooting for you? Like, I understand that, like, Patrick Wilson's character, Orm, is trying to, like, challenge, like, the surface world to war and everything. Like, obviously war is bad and stuff. But the first time you see Jason Momoa in the movie, he says this cheesy one-liner, and then he proceeds to beat down all these criminals and kill them and everything. And he's like, you killed innocent people. And I'm like, yeah, these guys killed innocent people, but you're killing them off. The thing about Batman, the reason why I love Batman is because he will, if he doesn't arrest people, he'll just leave them for the cops to make sure that they are taken care of and they're taken to prison and everything. He will not kill people unless they've personally wronged him, and even in that case, he usually doesn't. So in this case, I was just like, I'm not going to root for you if you're doing things like this. And at a point, someone literally says, hey, can you help me save this guy? One of the villains says, can you help me save this guy in one of the first scenes of the movie? And Aquaman says, no. And I'm like, he's not a hero now. I can't root for him. I can't get behind him this way. And throughout the entire movie, I just felt like Jason Momoa was having fun making the movie, and you can tell that. But I just felt like he wasn't like in this role of somebody who was destined to be king. He just felt like, again, a surfer dude, and I felt like he, because they kept saying you're the one who could unite the surface world and the Atlantis world and everything, and like yes, as a person, since he's half Atlantean and since he's half human, he should be able to do that, but in this case, like, he doesn't have the makings of a leader. Like, Patrick Wilson's character, he's poised, he's sophisticated, he's collected and everything. You understand where he's coming from. But Jason Momoa's character, you're like, all right, the only hardships he's really faced in his life is his mom had to go back to Atlantis, and that's it. And he didn't really grow up with her, and like, okay, that's fine, but he understands she had to go back to Atlantis, and that's kind of the thing, and he was trained and stuff. But I'm like, with Wonder Woman, we understand that, like, she has this ideology caked into her head that she has to always do what's good. But with Aquaman, you don't get that kind of moral compass training. You feel like he's just this guy who's kind of supposed to be the hero for this movie, and you aren't really set up to know why you like him. You're just set up to like him because he's the main character in the movie. I feel like the movie was overly cheesy at a bunch of points too. Like, there's this one scene where an octopus was playing the drums, and I'm like, what is happening here? And there's this one thing towards the end where they kind of go on a quest again. One of the subplots of the movie is like them kind of going on this quest to like discover this trident that's been lost for a bunch of generations and stuff. And you're like, okay. And then when they kind of get towards the end of that, you're like, what is happening here? Like, this is, it was so unbelievable at that point that I was just like disconnected from the movie. And in a movie that takes place like in Atlantis and stuff, I can obviously suspend my disbelief. But in Atlantis, the political intrigue was cool. I liked it. I liked that it was all there, and it felt like there was this lore around everything. It felt like it was Game of Thrones underwater to a degree. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but that's a kind of an apt comparison, considering that it's all about like these different kingdoms, like who has a right claim to the throne, and like how are things gonna be executed while avoiding conflict and stuff. But Jason Momoa's quest throughout this movie, I was just like not on board with him. And Amber Heard's chemistry was fine, but again, he felt like he was so removed from the movie that I just couldn't get behind him as a main character. The dialogue was consistently cheesy again, and I was just like, okay, I like the lore of this movie, but I like the pacing of this movie, but and some of the subplots were really interesting and really cool. But since Momoa as a lead felt like he was just not taking it seriously, I was just like, why should I take it seriously? So I'll tell you guys this, Aquaman, sure, it's a fun time at the movies, and like if you see it, you probably will have an okay and enjoyable time. Movie's overly long, and Jason Momoa, honestly, I don't think really compelled me as a leading man to convey the role of Aquaman, somebody who is rightful to be king. I didn't feel like he had that claim at all. But, I mean, there's enough goodness in this movie for me to say, you know what, check it out if you want to. Hopefully you'll have a fun time with it. If not, it will be on cable at some point soon to check out, and that's where I would recommend you see it if you wanted to see it. But I'll tell you guys this, I hate to be the Debbie Downer in this situation. This is one of my least favorite DCU movies. I like Batman v Superman and Justice League more than this, and obviously Man of Steel and Wonder Woman more than this. This is still better than Suicide Squad, don't get me wrong here. But it just felt like there was no care behind it. I felt like the action sequences were interesting, but I felt like there was no seriousness to it. These movies want to be fun, but you can still have fun while taking the making of the movie seriously. And I felt like this movie missed that. But guys, those are just my thoughts on Aquaman. Be sure to let me know all of yours in the comment section down below. You guys can go over to mymoviethoughts.com, follow me on Twitter at JohnHayeck, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for tons more posts from me. Links to all three of those are in the description down below. Keep an eye out for my top 10 worst and best of the year list coming in the next few days. You guys can also like this video, comment on it, share it with some friends. I am John Hayeck, so thank you guys so much for watching.